Today we kick off our pledge campaign. It's Stewardship Sunday. And Stewardship Sundays generally sort of had a bad rap and often make people uncomfortable in church. And that should not be the case here. We take our pledges seriously at First Congregational, but we think that what is offered is between the individual, their partner, and God. And we hope, to paraphrase Paul, that our pledges to give us joy. We don't want anyone to financially give in a painful way. No one in the church judges pledges. So there's nothing to be uncomfortable about, honest, really. And besides our no pressure, please just pray about it and discuss it with your partner and be joyful giver approach, Stewardship Sunday just happens to land each year close to the anniversary of my first day as a pastor here, November 1st, 2013. So there's usually a celebration of our ministry together. And as a part of that, I tend to summarize all the awesome things we have done, which is uplifting and ought to also bring us joy. As I mentioned in the recent newsletter, we have accomplished a lot in our first 1,000 days together. It's actually exactly 1,100 days. And so let me point out some of the things that we have accomplished in our ministry together. Some of this was also in the newsletter, and if I left something off that you wanted me to talk about, forgive me. We do so much, I could probably stand here all day listing things. The Sunday services that this great church has been conducting for 182 years continue to be uplifting, love-centered, and well-attended. And of course, the already good music ministry is now stronger than ever. Plus, most ministries and committees that were going on when we started our journey together have continued on. And now both our adult form and Sunday school classes are flourishing. And I particularly love that the number of children has increased significantly since 2013. And we have 2 wonderful children's choirs again. And beyond our uplifting God-soaked services and already existing and continuing missions and ministries, we have completed a great many additional things in our time together. I love that the church bell is ringing again, and the tower that houses it has been fully repaired, as has the roof over the education wing and our organ. Our parking lot, sidewalks, and a good portion of the first level floors have been refurbished, and we finally have a wheelchair ramp at the entrance. An entrance that on the inside now has attractive coat pegs, nice flooring, and wonderful welcoming artwork, and a plethora of brochures nicely displayed for our visitors. And all of this goes along well with Larry's wonderful art displays in the niche downstairs. And Larry has also done a wonderful job painting the office, the nursery, the children's choir room, and the older children's Sunday school room. We've even moved that wonderful old baptism out of the weather and into the church as another reminder that our history of God's work in the community goes way back for generations. Plus, we finally have a new baptismal, which I'm delighted to report we will very likely be using for another baptism this month. And of course, it's not just the physical space that we have enhanced over the past 3 years. We have a wonderful new music director and a wonderful new office manager. No small feat, given the combined 75 plus years of service by their wonderful predecessors. We have great new members and families and lots of visitors. We have added a delightful annual pet blessing service, and this year we held 2 very important and powerful prayer vigils for the community at large. We've also had 3 powerful Reign of Christ services, lighting candles for the saints of our church and those in our lives. We've long been host outside meetings, and this year hosted 2 Narcotics Anonymous meetings, in addition to our already going Al-Anon and grief support groups. Plus, every week Steve leads Qigong and Janine leads yoga in the chapel. Since 2013, we have made amazing inroads on ecumenical connections and teamwork, from a multi-church clergy support group to efforts to start a multi-church youth group, to a multi-church community racial justice class that is going right now, with an ecumenical theater group, the Chancel Players, in the works. And at least as remarkable is all the work we have also accomplished on interfaith ministries, including dialogue with Muslim, Buddhist, and Jewish members of our community, as well as hosting a Buddhist community right in our church, to creating and sponsoring our much beloved interfaith-friendly peace villages. And very impressive to me is that through many of the efforts I just mentioned, along with an outstanding new website Carter created and online videos that Charlotte posts each week, as well as a strong Facebook presence, ads and letters in the paper, and our banners, particularly about LGBT and racial justice efforts, we are known as a church that is actively doing Christ's work in the world. And we are. And it matters. We're fast losing our status as the best kept secret in Knox County, which is how a number of members described this church when I first arrived. Our offerings of time and talent and treasure are transforming lives and are being well used under the awesome leadership of this church. Let us be grateful to God and to our leaders for their efforts. And let us also be grateful to one another for all the offerings we have given so far, which have made all of this possible. And may our fourth year together be at least as productive as the past 3. I didn't have to look far for scripture to tie all of this stuff together with Bible verses, at least in my mind's eye. One of the alternative lectionary readings this week is part of Jesus' sermon on the plain from Luke that we heard Casey read so well. And if I had to pick one section from the Bible to represent what this church does and why we do it and what we aim to achieve personally and corporately, it would be Jesus' sermon on the plain. It also is my favorite set of verses, and I think the greatest and most remarkable sermon ever recorded. And I thought about parsing the text and focusing on a part of it for this sermon, but I decided to do something that I've always wanted to do instead, to read that sermon of Jesus as the sermon, or a goodly part of it. You see, what we do with our offerings is try to give traction and living action to what Jesus teaches and what he preaches. God's call to us in that sermon sums it up well. It is the primary basis for what we do and much of what we aim to achieve. I chose a different translation than what Casey read. I've chosen actually a paraphrase, Eugene Patterson's version of it from the Message. Here it is, Jesus' Sermon on the Plain. Luke first puts the sermon into context and tells us that Jesus stood on a plain surrounded by disciples and was soon joined by a huge congregation from all over Judea and Jerusalem, even from the seaside towns of Tyre and Sidon. They had come both to hear Jesus and to be cured of their ailments. Those disturbed by evil spirits were healed. And everyone was trying to touch Jesus. So much energy surging from him. So many people healed. In that setting, imagine Jesus preaching this. You're blessed when you've lost it all. God's kingdom is there for the finding. You're blessed when you're ravenously hungry. Then you're ready for the messianic meal. You're blessed when tears flow freely. Joy comes with mourning. Count yourself blessed every time someone cuts you down or throws you out, every time someone smears or blackens your name to discredit me. What it means is that the truth is too close for comfort and that person is uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. Skip like a lamb if you like, for even though they don't like it, I do. All of heaven applauds. And know that you are in good company. My preachers and witnesses have always been treated like this. But it's trouble ahead if you think you have it made. What you have is all you'll ever get. And it's trouble ahead if you're satisfied with yourself. Yourself will not be satisfied for long. And it's trouble ahead if you think life's all fun and games there's suffering to be met, and you're going to meet it. There's trouble ahead when you live only for the approval of others, saying what flatters them, doing what indulges them. Popularity contests are not truth contests. Look how many scoundrel preachers were approved by your ancestors. Your task is to be true, not popular. To you who are ready for the truth, I say this: love your enemies. Let them bring out the best in you, not the worst. When someone gives you a hard time, respond with the energies of prayer for that person. If someone slaps you in the face, stand there and take it. If someone grabs your shirt, gift wrap your best coat and make a present of it. If someone takes unfair advantage of you, use the occasion to practice the servant life. No more tit for tat stuff. Live generously. Here's a simple rule of thumb for behavior. Ask yourself what you want people to do for you. Then grab the initiative and do it for them. If you only love the lovable, do you expect a pat on the back? Run-of-the-mill sinners do that. If you only help those who help you, do you expect a medal? Garden variety sinners do that. If you only give for what you hope to get out of it, do you think that's charity? The stingiest of pawnbrokers does that. I tell you, love your enemies. Help and give without expecting a return. You'll never, I promise, regret it. Live out this God-created identity the way our Father lives toward us, generously and graciously, even when we're at our worst. Our Father is kind. You be kind. Don't pick on people, jump on their failures, criticize their faults, unless, of course, you want the same treatment. Don't condemn those who are down. That hardness can boomerang. Be easy on people. You'll find life a lot easier. Give away your life. You'll find life given back, but not merely given back with bonus and blessing. Giving, not getting, is the way. Generosity begets generosity. Can a blind man guide a blind man? Would they both end up in the ditch? An apprentice doesn't lecture the master. The point is to be careful who you follow as your teacher. It's easy to see a smudge on your neighbor's face and be oblivious to an ugly sneer on your own. Do you have the nerve to say, let me wash your face for you, when your own face is distorted by contempt? It's this I know better than you mentality again, playing a holier-than-thou part instead of just living your own part. Wipe that ugly sneer off your face and you might be fit to offer a washcloth to your neighbor. You don't get wormy apples from a healthy tree, nor good apples off a diseased tree. The health of the apple tells the health of the tree. You must begin with your own life, giving lives. It's you, it's who you are, not what you say and do, that counts. Your true being brims over into true words and deeds. Why are you so polite with me, always saying yes, sir, and that's right, sir, but never doing a thing I tell you? These words I speak to you are not mere additions to your life, homeowner improvements to your standard of living. They are foundation words, words to build a life on. If you work the words into your life, you're like a smart carpenter who dug deep and laid the foundation of his house on bedrock. When the river burst its banks and crashed against the house, nothing could shake it. It was built to last. But if you just use my words in Bible studies and don't work them into your life, you are like a dumb carpenter who built a house but skipped the foundation. When the swollen river came crashing in, it collapsed like a house of cards. It was a total loss. That's how the message phrases the entirety of Jesus the Christ Sermon on the Plain. Pretty awesome words to live by in this pretty awesome church with all of you, awesome people of God. May the words of Jesus, may the word of our still speaking God continue to be worked into our lives on the foundation first laid by Jesus and later by the founders of this love-soaked church. Let nothing shake it. And may our offerings of time, talent, and treasure keep it built to last.